Hey, it's Mikael and
Mackenzie!
welcome to the Monson Schoolhouse. I know a lot of you are in the process of looking at curriculums and trying to figure out next year. So I thought this would be really helpful to kind of share our experience with two different math programs and to kind of compare them side by side so you can see and hear our experience. So first of all, Mackenzie is 10. She was in 5th grade last year. We used both of these curriculums last year. We started with Saxon Math, and we used it for 4 months, and then in December we kind of reached a fork in the road and decided to make a switch to teaching textbooks. So she's currently using teaching textbooks and she loves it, and we are so happy for our switch. Now, before we go on with kind of the review, I do want to let you know that, and I'm using Saxon Math 5.4 for my twin boys. So my twin boys are currently using this book, and it's really working out great for them. So I love Saxon Math. However, my daughter, she just has a different personality, learning style. Before we do a comparison side by side, I just want to let you know why we changed. So, Mackenzie, what did you not like about Saxon Math?
I didn't like how it just went straight through and it didn't really it didn't have things you could see.
It wasn't visual.
Yeah,
it wasn't interactive for her. Again, the concepts are awesome. I love them and I'm using them for my twin boys. I really love the program. But for her, it just was too cold. It was too stale. It was just like such a chore for her to get through it. We literally it kind of almost it made us do this a lot. Making the switch to the teaching textbooks as a mother, because it's been so awesome for her and it's the program for her learning style. We have not fought once. It has not been a drag to get her to do it. She tackles the math that day without question, without whining. She actually, she has such a positive attitude. It's like this huge weight is lifted. And do you look forward to math?
Yes, I enjoy math.
She enjoys it now. So, again, I like the concepts that is being taught, and I will compare. She has scored on all of her tests and quizzes. She's scored, 90% and above. So many positives of this. As far as right now, she's going to continue with teaching textbooks. Because she started it halfway through the year, she still has to finish up Math 7. So she will be working on that through the summer. And then hopefully she'll finish it in the beginning of the fall. And then she'll go on to pre-algebra. So that'll be fun. The boys, I'm going to continue them with the Math by 4. Again, they started this in January, midway through the year. So we're going to finish this up, and I'm probably going to continue them on Saxon Math because they seem to be responding to it. And I really love being able to teach them their math lessons. And it's worked out really well with me teaching the boys the Saxon Math lesson. She's able to do it more independently. So she does math independently, which is awesome. And then I can work with my twin boys with Saxon Math. So having these two programs in our house is working so far. And we're just going to roll with it next year. So let's compare them side by side so you can see what is the same and what is different and what would work with your kids and their personalities. All right, so on the right you have Saxon Math 7-6. On the left, you have Teaching Textbooks Math 7. They both start with adding and subtracting whole numbers. So this is the first page of the books. And Mackenzie's here kind of helping. And then we go to the next page. All right, so the next page of both books, it takes you through fractions. Adding, subtracting fractions, multiplying fractions, and multiplying decimal numbers. Here we have decimals down here, multiplying decimals on Saxon Math. And you come over here, teaching textbooks has decimals. And then, all right, so then they both go into geometric measurement and those kind of concepts. So this is Saxon Math that I'm showing you. Mackenzie, move your hand. This is Saxon Math. And then this is going to be teaching textbooks, perimeter area, taking you through the same kind of concepts together. So in Saxon Math, each lesson is kind of set up like this. You do a warm-up, and I've kind of, with my boys, I've done different things for this. I don't exactly follow it verbatim. Then it teaches the concept, so I teach that to my boys. And then it'll take you through the practice set of a concept you learned that day. And then it has about 30 questions of reviewing the concept you learned that day and taking you through all the previous concepts that you've learned up to this point. With my boys, they do this pretty well, and we get through it every day, and it's working really well for my boys. While my daughter was using Saxon Math, I did have her use the Dive CDs. They're instructional, and he takes her through the lesson. You know, he taught all the concepts really well, and I actually got this Dive CD for my boys in Math 5-4, but I haven't needed to use it because the concepts are pretty simple for my boys. So I just teach my boys the concepts, but if your child is, you know, getting higher in math level and you don't feel comfortable teaching with Saxon Math, I highly suggest the Dive CDs. He's really, really great. He explains them very clearly. But again, my daughter, it was just pretty stale. She just wasn't responding well to this whole curriculum. So just wanted to share that this is an option if you don't feel comfortable teaching the concepts in Saxon Math on your own. I highly suggest the Dive CDs. They're really, really good to have around. And it's just kind of like a little safety blanket for the mom. So teaching textbooks comes with a written textbook. However, we've only used this a couple times when she's had problems with some things. She really only uses the CDs. And so these you put in your computer, and the whole program is on the computer. The lectures, the assignments, the grading, the quizzes, everything is on the computer. That is a major positive with this program. All right, so here we are with the teaching textbooks. We're sitting on the floor just because.
High flyers at the treetop post office was 7 to 13. If there were 104 high flyers, how many low flyers were there?
Okay, so you can kind of see how it looks. It's just fun, and it explains it in picture form as they teach it. And you can change those funny little characters on the top. She loves to do that. And you can see a list of lessons and quizzes on the left. And here is her question. So can you go to the lecture to kind of show how he teaches it? This is the lecture that she watches every day. And again, I love this because I'm teaching the boys, and this is really independent for her. So she can do this on her own.
Percents in the last lesson. Remember, percent just means per 100 or out of 100. And so far, we've just been doing percent problems in our heads, and it's good to be able to do that.
All right, so she's gonna ask he asked what 13% as a fraction is. She inputs it in the keyboard, and she puts return.
The next step is to multiply the fraction.
So here's a sample problem from one of her lessons.
1.05 times 0.32.
Okay, and then she has to do that. She writes it out on a notebook paper. She inputs her answer and then moves on. All right, let's show them the grade book. So it keeps track of every lesson and things that she has gotten wrong, things that she's gotten right. And it just honestly makes it so easy for me. All right, so again, we switched halfway through the year. So this shows where we started. She tested out of lesson 1 through 16. I probably could have tested her out of more. As you can see, it says the lesson, it says the number completed, the number correct, and gives you a percentage. And it takes you through all those. It also has the quizzes. Here's the quizzes that she's done, and she started this again in January, so she's going to be working through the summer on the rest of this curriculum and into the fall, and then we can move her on to the pre-algebra. So again, the main difference between these two is kind of the learning style and the maintenance of the mom. Math or teaching textbooks is super low maintenance for mom, and it is very self-learning for the child. It kind of takes care of itself. So this takes care of itself. It's great for her. Saxon Math, I, again, use it for my boys. It's very involved with the parent. You know, you have to print worksheets. There's a book of tests and worksheets you're going to have to print out every day. You're going to have to grade them yourself, record them yourself, file them yourself. So this is it's kind of a high maintenance math program. However, I'm still using it for my boys because I think it's really, really good. So I don't really have any complaints. It is high maintenance, but it's worth it to me with the boys because I can kind of see how they're, what they need to work on. Math, this teaching textbooks, you can see what they got wrong, what they got right, and if they're really struggling on a concept, then you can dive into the book with them and kind of work it out with them. So it can be very involved, but for me and homeschooling 4 kids, I needed my daughter to be independent. She's going into middle school, so this is very good. She's very independent, and I don't have to worry about math with her. The boys, I don't know if I'm eventually going to move them to teaching textbooks. I haven't decided. But as far as right now, I'm going to keep them. They're doing the 5-4. I'm going to keep my boys in this curriculum. So we'll see where it takes us. I'm learning and just like everyone else, kind of tweaking, but very happy with our math program. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.